Where do they hide? All the affluent, single men during summer. Summer is a perfect time of the year to meet your Mr. Right because that's usually when we travel more, we're more approachable, we go out more, we want to have more fun, and so on. But it can be tricky to find them. And ladies, you know that I have created a free cheat sheet for you. 210 places where you can meet affluent men. It's free for you to download if you visit millionaireplaces.com. So make sure you get your cheat sheet after this video. Now, the number one thing to start thinking about when you want to meet affluent men, but the single ones, we don't want to meet the married ones, we don't want to waste time on anybody who's taken, we want to have somebody that we can actually build a relationship with. So we need to think about, how does their life look in summer? First of all, a single man will definitely be working more. Most likely that's because he doesn't have a wife or a family that he has to hurry back to. So you will most likely even spot, if you live in the city, even in months like July and August, you'll definitely be able to find some businessmen around in the business area where you live. So that is definitely something that you should think about, that don't think that it's game over and that if you're stuck in the city during summer that you're not going to meet anybody. You might actually have even better opportunity to meet somebody because big cities, they tend to become less populated in summer because it's too hot and everybody is on vacation. But if you are there and this affluent man is still there doing his business, doing his career thing, then you might have a higher chance running into him because there will be less people and also less competition. I think it's really important to be out and about as much as possible in summer because really life is about to be enjoyed and summertime is the best time of the year. So make sure you make that effort. Go to the rooftop bars, to after work, happy hour, daytime events, weekend events, whatever you can find that's happening in your town. Even if you need to travel a little bit for events or meetups or whatever it is that's happening, it's really worth. I know that when I was at my most active, I used to be out every day. And I used to remember that it's such a big difference to when you're out every day to when you're not out every day, maybe just once a week. You meet so many more people and you also have a more happening dating life as a result when you're really out and about. So see that as an investment and don't be lazy. Now, if you're planning to travel, think about where the single affluent men would travel. I can definitely speak for Europe because Europe is very much happening in summer, Mediterranean. That's where everybody is, including the single affluent men. But if we think a little bit about, okay, so how will the single affluent man reason when he books his holidays? He will definitely think about that he wants to have a little bit of party. He might be going in a group together with his male friends. And usually that's a very common thing that men, usually below the age of 50, that they would go on more of a group trip if they're single. They would go maybe with other single guys, or maybe they would go with just like friends or maybe even coupled up, but they would definitely do more in groups and go to places like maybe Mykonos, Ibiza. I would say those are definitely a must visit if you're single and if you are below the age of 50. Definitely a happening crowd there and a lot of single guys. And if you think that, oh, but I cannot go to these places because there's no marriage material of men there, and that is such a myth. Surely it might not be the number one place to search for a husband, but you'd be surprised how many couples actually meet over there in places like this and end up marrying each other. I can name many for you, so don't worry about that. Just make sure you have fun, you have an open attitude, you're outgoing, and you really just want to have the best summer of your life, and I can bet you will definitely attract somebody of high value. To really have a high chance of meeting somebody, you need to become somebody who has quality connections or you are very well connected. The more connections you have and the better quality connections you have, the higher your chances are that you are going to meet your future husband. Why? This is actually the way majority of people end up meeting, through connections. This is how I met my partner. This is how most of my friends met their partners. So I really think you should think about it, the whole networking aspect. Now, I don't really talk a lot about networking on my channel, but that is something that I do talk a lot about in my online finishing school, where I also share my own strategies when it comes to networking and dating. If you're interested in that, visit schoolofaffluence.com. Having mentioned networking is that in summer, people and especially friends gather so much more and do more events together. And for that reason, if you are more connected, it would be extremely beneficial for you if you want to meet single affluent men. But of course, for that reason, you need to have friends who know affluent men, who are in those circles. And those are the connections that you want to make. Now, two things, like I said, friends gatherings, but also weddings. So summer is the busiest time for weddings. And if you are somebody who are kind of in the marrying type of age and you know loads of people, then you will most likely be invited to many weddings. And actually weddings are a great place to meet men. You think like, yes, but mostly people are there with a +1 or in couples. Not necessarily. Single people are invited to weddings after all, and weddings tend to spark up this emotion when a person, if you are single and you are at a wedding and it's all very romantic and you're single, maybe you feel a little bit lonely, then you're definitely gonna maybe subconsciously seek out somebody and yeah, maybe even start something serious because you feel like, okay, maybe it's my turn next. So weddings are not something to dismiss. Try to get invited as much as possible. Really try and find a group of people that are in these circles, in the high society circles. Try and find people who are very well connected. The more well connected friends you have, the more it's going to be easier for you to meet Mr. Right, because like I said, friends introductions happen, but also just being invited to events, to weddings, to birthday parties, to all kinds of different occasions through somebody, and then getting to meet their group of friends. What else do I need to say? That is usually the best way of meeting somebody. So make sure you make this networking effort, because then you won't stay single for much longer. If you still haven't watched my video, Where to Meet Affluent Men, make sure you watch it. I have also created a cheat sheet, Where to Meet Affluent Men, that gives you 210 places where you can meet all these fantastic single men that do exist. They just haven't met you yet, but they will if you just strategize correctly. Now, I will see you in the next video.